was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy. Had an
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Arsenal 101 channel. We are live for the Arsenal at home watch along against Nottingham Forest. I'm joined by my partner in crime, the one and only Coach Gary. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Well, I was doing all right till I saw this team sheet, Tone. I think we should have started at 1 o'clock to discuss it.
So let's get into it because as some of you may not be aware, we were a little bit taken aback by what we saw when the team sheet came out today. Let's go through that team sheet. So in goal, Raya, the back four, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I mean, that is my
no problem with them five.
Back for a choice. Then we somehow have managed to contrive to get what was a fit Thomas Partey, unfit or just not ready to take the field. He's on the bench, but Jorginho comes in for today's game. What's your feelings there, Gary?
To be honest with you, mate, I'm totally perplexed. I don't understand it. He didn't go away on international duty, did he? Thomas Partey?
Nope.
So if he hasn't gone away on international duty and he was fighting fit, played every single game, why would you drop him for a game which is quite important when Forest are doing really well? It's not like they're bottom of the league and struggling to play.
Marino and Odegaard ahead of that, or in a two. Happy with that?
Yeah, we'll say Rice is injured, isn't he? So Marino plays left, Odegaard right, so that's not a problem.
And then Saka, Trossard are our wingers, and then Jesus up top.
Yeah, so obviously Trossard in for Martinelli. Trossard for Martinelli. We're now losing the defensive work that Martinelli brings, which could be a big loss. And Jesus for Havertz, you know, the duels he wins in the defence and attack. Is Jesus going to give us that? Not too sure. Four at the back, all standing offside. As the free kick comes in, they'll make their way into the centre. And here they go. There's the free kick. Yes! Julian Timber! Boom! It was Marino with the header. Oh, and the offside flag. Offside flag is up. Gabriel releases Trossard. Trossard plays Odegaard. The shot's blocked. Jorginho recycles. With Saka. With Odegaard. Saka again. Oh my God. What a goal. What a goal. So Odegaard plays in Saka on the right side of the box. He dribbles the whole way across the 18-yard line to the left side of the box and then slams it back in the right corner.
Oh, yeah. You beauty. Come on. That's my guys. Star boy. That little drop shoulder was lovely from
Thomas Partey. Hey, hey! Thomas Partey! 2-0. 20-odd yards into the far corner of the net.
Get in! I told you. Bring Thomas Partey
assist goes
back,
to Bukayo Saka.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on. I said it. Bring him back.
Go on, son. To Sterling. Pulls it back. And even there, Weary! Bang! And that. Raheem Sterling with the assist. And even then, Weary has a smile on his face bigger than anyone in the Emirates Stadium.
Mate.
And that is full time. And I've got to say, I'm very impressed with the performance. Yeah, thoroughly professional performance. Can't knock anything about that. The only thing that you could probably say is that how was Jesus in that game not managed one shot actually on target. But apart from that, I mean, that's nitpicking of the highest order.
team. That's a good Forest team. So, yeah, they missed Gibbs White, but that's a team that's right up there in terms of performance so far this half season.
Yeah, we delivered them their first away loss of the season as well. Bearing in mind they've been to Anfield. First goal for Ethan Nwaneri. Right, so Arsenal had overall possession 66.3%. Basically, it was total domination. Forest, the 33% they had wasn't in any area that they can hurt us. And off the top of my head, I can only remember having the ball for a sustained period of probably 5 or 6 minutes in the whole game. So very good dominating performance from Arsenal there. We was never really in trouble throughout the game. And it was a comfortable 3-0 win, as you're ever likely to see. Even when Thomas Partey come on, it just shored things up a bit more. So Arsenal had 19 shots in the game compared to Forest's 7. Arsenal 7 shots on target. Forest had none. Arsenal had 7 shots off target, and the blocked shots are 2 blocked shots, and Arsenal had 5. So even more a show of our dominance on the whole game. We probably could have had, I think we should have had at least another 6 minimum on target, to be honest, in that game. But the 3-0 win was established. And, at the end of the day, we want to see more goals scored. But a win is a win, and a 3-0 win against a team like Forest is, at the moment, is very good. So Arsenal had 47 touches in the Forest box compared to Forest 13 in ours. I thought our centre-backs were magnificent today. Calafiore struggled, but we'll give him that as he's coming back in from injury. Timber was solid. When Partey come on, he helped out the back 2 centre-backs. So all in all, very happy with that. So Arsenal goalkeeper saves. Raya had no saves to make in the whole game. The Forest keepers made 3. Arsenal conceded 10 fouls and Forest conceded 11. Arsenal had 8 corners and Forest had 1. So again, just a show of dominance. So Bukayo Saka in the first half for Arsenal had the most touches in the opposition box with 10, the most shots with 5, most possessions won with 4, equal third most chances created, the most take-ons completed with 2, and equal most shots on target with 2, and obviously most goals with 1. And what a strike it was. So Bukayo Saka, 43, has now provided more Premier League assists than Mikel Arteta, who had 42. He's overtaken his manager in Premier League assists. And he's still only 23, is he? Only 2 17-year-olds have scored a Premier League goal for Arsenal. One of them, Mr. Cesc Fabregas in 2004. God, that's a long time ago, isn't it? And today, Ethan Nwaneri in 2024. And yes, you're right. The Gunners do have a new star. And this kid could be better than anything we've ever seen. Excellent stats, Tone. I'll take Arda Güler. He wouldn't be a starter in the team, but I think he could add something to the team.
The question is, would you take him at the detriment of Eddie Nwaneri's minutes, especially when you see what he can do, like of today?
I don't think he would affect Nwaneri. I think he'd be a replacement for Martinelli out wide.
Interesting.
He says decent, but no striker. Thing is, Arteta has to start Gabriel Jesus because he's big money striker signing and on massive wages too. Owners need to see a return, but Arteta's got this signing all wrong. Like I said, in the beginning when Jesus first came, he was a breath of fresh air. He was scoring goals. He was also creating goals. That since has dried up, which obviously means he's no longer producing what we need him to produce. And if it was up to me, I would move him on in January and I would invest in a proper striker. I'd be inclined to look at Gyökeres would be my number one target. But if that proved too expensive, I would look at that Matheus Cunha from Wolves. Apollo saying, fantastic display by the captain today. Odegaard was his man of the match, and I could agree with you there, Apollo. I thought Odegaard was absolutely outstanding. And I say there was a couple of glimpses in that first half of exactly what we've missed, why he's been out. You know, the little ball that put Saka on the way to scoring the opening goal. You know, one little 3-yard pass took out 2 players, and that's what we've been missing. And as I said to Tony afterwards, it just shows that you play the Havertz at the 10 because he gives you the defensive work that Odegaard would do, but Havertz doesn't have the creativity that an Odegaard does. So although you're keeping one side of Odegaard's game, sort of, you're losing the other bit, which is the creativity. So happy to have him back, and it looks like he's come back and hit the ground running. So Andrew saying to D, do you believe Kroenke signs whoever Arteta desires? I think if Arteta wants a player and it can be done, they will do their best to get him. Social says we don't have minutes to give Arda. Already have a hard time giving Ethan time. We are not here to train Madrid players. How and first. No, I agree with you on that situation. It all depends, like I said, where you see Arda Güler playing. You know, is he a 10? Is he a 9? He's not a 9, sorry. Is he a 10? Is he an 8? Is he an 11? Is he a 7? You know. But yeah, Jesus, I would fly him out to Saudi tomorrow. You know, if you can get 40 million for him from Saudi, he's cost you 5 million for the 3-odd years he's been here. But it's definitely time. His time at Arsenal, in my opinion, is coming to an end. He just doesn't produce. Like, you know, in today's game, when we've had total domination of the game, the guy hasn't mustered one opportunity on target. He had one shot in the whole game, which went wide.
Okay, so guys, I've done my ratings. You and I can go through them together, Gal. So as we do before, I'll do mine and yours at the same time. Yeah. So I thought Raya done everything really well today. He commanded his box well. He punched well. He caught what he needed to from crosses. Distribution was absolutely on point for me. So he gets a good solid 8. Your feelings, Gal?
Yeah, echo exactly what you said, mate. I think he'd done everything he needed to. Exactly the same as what you said. His distribution was decent. He caught when he needed to. He held the ball at his feet to drag them on. Yeah, I can agree with that 8.
Cool. Moving on to the back 4, I gave Timber a 7, Saliba a 7, Gabriel a 7. I just felt Calafiori wasn't able to establish himself really in the game in the same way, so I gave him a 6. But that's not a poor performance for me, but I just feel he wasn't at the same standard as the other 4. Defensively, didn't really need to do anything too great. I think, you know, what we were looking at is what could he offer us offensively. Your thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, I thought Timber had a really good game. Unlucky not to score his first Arsenal goal with Marino given marginally offside. Saliba and Gabriel. So I'm happy with Timber 7. Saliba and Gabriel, I'm going to give them both an 8. I thought they handled the big guy really well. You know, they was never in any danger. Even when Chris would come on, they still wasn't in any danger. I thought they was both solid as they've been probably in a while today. It was like watching just two brick walls going at it. So give them both 8. Calafiore, I can agree with his 6. I think you saw today, I don't think he was absolutely ready. But I think Arteta doesn't want to play Zinchenko. I think that was clear. Don't want to Zinchenko anywhere near the starting lineup. He makes mistakes. And so that's why Calafiore got the nod. Clearly not back up to speed after his little injury, but a 6, fair enough for him.
Cool. Moving into the midfield. Marino, Jorginho first. So I thought Jorginho got caught a few times. Obviously, wasn't really as penetrating a passer as Thomas Partey, and obviously Partey made an instant impact. So for me, Jorginho gets a 6. What's your feelings?
Yeah, Jorginho for me. I thought he had a good game. Give away a silly yellow card and Forest's first real free kick opportunity when I don't think he needed to make the tackle. But his experience showed after that, and he managed to get through the half without committing any other stupidness and getting sent off. Used the ball well a couple of times. But again, he did get caught on the ball a couple of times, and lucky enough, it didn't lead to anything. But nevertheless, for his first, is that his first start of the season?
Yeah, I think so.
One or first or second start of the season. I thought he'd done well enough to get a 6.5.
Cool. Okay, Marino, tackling machine, intercept machine. Literally, some amazing interceptions. Just really a good player all round in terms of contribution around the middle of the park. Looking for something a little bit more offensively from him. Could have had an assist. Very unlucky not to have been, able to get that assist. But we've seen that he's a danger from set pieces already this season. And once again, he showed that. So I give him a 7. Very pleased with the performance. What about yourself, Gal?
Yeah, so I think when you watch Marino, I think there's times when he looks clumsy, but he also has great technical ability. And sometimes when he receives the ball and he turns, and he's always looking to pass the ball forward. So there was a couple of times he done really well in that aspect. Made a couple of really good interceptions. There was, I think, from one corner he puts in the sprint and gets back, and he mops up once Saliba's done his job. So pleased with his performance. I think there's a lot more to come from him. It's going to take him a while to adjust back to the Premier League. So, happy with his 7, mate.
Cool. Then we go on to Captain Fantastic, Martin Odegaard. Simply sublime. We talked about the word sublime, the fact that he wakes up and he's sublime. He literally is just a walking piece of artwork. It's like a Van Gogh on the pitch. Strokes the ball so beautifully. Drops his shoulder, shimmies, doesn't overdo things. There's a difference between him and Jesus. Doesn't do things just for the sake of doing things. Everything has a reason. And just, again, his first proper game back, wasn't able to do the full 90 minutes, but even in the time he was allotted, showed how important he is as part of the press. And obviously got himself an assist and was involved in literally everything. So without a doubt, my man of the match, 9 for him. Yourself, Gary?
Yeah, again, I echo your sentiments. I thought he was involved in everything we've done. Just the touch, the turns, the passes, he leads the press. Everything that we have comes through this guy, and went and took out 2 players. That's what we've been missing. And I think he was involved in everything we've done. Even when he dropped into the 6 and he was just spraying the ball about, turning, simple passes, nothing flash, but it just looked flash because of the way he done it with such ease. But it's just simple football. So pleased to have him back. And yeah, for me, if he would have scored today, I would have given him a 10. But I think the 9, I'm going to give him a 9.5 because I thought he was.
Cool. Next up, gonna go to Bukayo Saka. Leandro Trossard. I thought he was a little bit quiet in the first half, but then he started moving around and he really became, a handful, being in and around the right-hand side of the pitch, dropping into the 8, and got himself a lot more involved in the game in the second half. And I thought by the end of the game, he'd had a good game. Again, he's a player that even if he's not doing something offensively, you have to admire what he does in terms of defensive work. He finds himself in, really good positions to stop attacks. So overall, I thought for the last month or so, without Odegaard and him having to play, kind of left him exposed and he wasn't really quite himself. Today, I'm pleased to say I felt much better with his performance. Even though he started, which is sometimes he's better off as a substitute, I felt his performance today was much better. What's your thoughts, Gaz?
I thought Trossard was excellent today. I thought he had a really good first half, to be honest. He was picking the ball up on the left. He was winning tackles. He was strong, like in the challenge. Like even when he was being challenged, used the ball really well. Dropped over to the right-hand side. The left was kind of vacant today. And he came over to the right and he made things happen there and he got involved over there. And I thought he had a really good game. And I thought he struggled. He struggled in the last month or so and he hasn't been good. But today I think we saw the side of Leandro Trossard that can bring a lot to the team. So I thought excellent performance from him and happy with his 8.
Cool. Saka, again, considering that he got a knock at the last game, he had to take a couple of weeks off, so he's probably not at his 100%, best fitness-wise. But again, everything seemed to be working down the right-hand side. And the combinations between him and Odegaard, it's just a thing of beauty, in all honesty. And again, he's got an assist and a goal in a game. We've seen the stats about how he's just, breaking records week after week. In fact, I'm being negative by giving him an 8.5. I've got to give him a 9. I have to, because I forgot not only did he get a goal, he got an assist as well. So I've got to give him a 9. I upgrade that. What's your thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, again, I thought Saka was excellent. Beat his man a few times, one-on-one. Scored a cracking goal. Got an assist. Was involved in everything. Again, with Odegaard down the right-hand side. Used the ball well. I don't recall him giving the ball away too many times. Done his defensive side of the game. Was the Saka that we all know and love. Again, he's played 81 minutes, which is probably not ideal considering he's carrying little niggles and he's kind of been sidelined by them a couple of times. Missed the last 2 England meetings, hasn't he, through injury. So definitely something that Arteta needs to keep an eye on by making sure his game time is looked after. But yeah, he was fantastic today and he does get a 9 from me first off. Goal and assist, and everything good again came through him and Odegaard on that right hand side. So happy days.
Cool, and that just leaves Gabriel Jesus, who D is very interested to see why I've given him the lowly mark of 5. Quite simply, as a striker, you have to do more. You have to do more. Holding up the ball, bringing other players into play, and not least of which is you're the striker. You should be shooting from, somewhere on the pitch to not have a shot on target. And what was it? Just the one shot?
One shot.
Gabriel,
I recall,
one shot 1 shot, none on target. I mean, you know, that's just not acceptable. It's just not acceptable in any way. So, yeah, for me, it's a 5. And, you know, I felt 5 is even fortunate for me. You, Gal?
Yeah, for me, Jesus, he no longer has a place in this Arsenal starting lineup. I think when you look at his stats, you know, 1 shot, not on target. If you're playing against a Man City or a Liverpool, where the game is fairly even, you can understand a striker maybe only getting 1 opportunity, right? When your team has total domination of a game and your number 9 only has 1 shot which isn't on target, that for me is not acceptable. He done 1 good piece of defensive work where he ran back and ended up in the right back spot, which we know he can do. But ultimately, his job is scoring goals, right? And you know, there was times there was just a little bit of overplay. There was times when he declined to shoot. There was times when he could have passed the ball and just held on to it a couple of seconds too long. And this is Jesus all over. For me, he's a squad player at best. I would move him on in January for whatever we can get for him. Arsenal's we've outgrown him now, just like City outgrew him. We've outgrown him. For me, he gets a 2. I'm not even going to give him a 5. He gets a 2 from me. And you know, this is the curtain on his Arsenal career is fastly closing.
So crazy.
D says Gabriel Jesus, I can smell him through my screen.
Oh man, so there's so many comments now. What is going on? What have I done? It's like 1 million comments. I can't read them all. The left-hand side is pretty poor. Moreno ain't it. Give him time, guys. Give him time. Yeah? Don't forget, came in, got injured in his first training session, was out for ages. And where are we at? 3 months into the season? Missed the first 2 months? Only just getting into play? Hasn't seen Odegaard on the pitch the same as him? Don't forget, they both played at Sociedad together. Yeah?
It's not only that, Tony. You know what it is as well? I mean, we didn't have Thomas Partey in the starting lineup today, right? So you don't know what instructions Marino's been given by Arteta. Does he want him to sit closer to Jorginho to protect Jorginho's lack of pace? This all comes into it. So it's not just you're playing left-sided 8, go out there and attack. You know, there's other roles of a left-sided 8. So did he have to sit closer to Jorginho? You know, we saw him break up numerous plays.
Absolutely.
So
and that's what he's been.
That we have
he's
to think,
so good at. He is so good at that. His ability to get interceptions. Let me look at some stats with you, Gal. I'll get rid of that comment if I could find it. And that ratings. So we're looking at some stats here from who scored. Bukayo Saka, 6 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal, 4 key passes. Gabriel Jesus, 2 key passes, 1 shot, none on target. Moreno, 1 shot, none on target. Martin Odegaard, 2 shots, 1 on target, 6 key passes, as I said. Jorginho, no shots, none on target, only 1 key pass. Thomas Partey came on in the second half, 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 goal. Trossard, 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 key pass. Pass accuracy.
Andrew, I actually agree with you with that comment. I would have kept Nketiah over Jesus. I don't think you're in the minority with that at all, mate.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a logical thing to do. But Jesus is Arteta's man, isn't he? So you know, sometimes it's the hardest thing for a football manager to do is admit they were wrong or it hasn't worked out. You know, sometimes they'd rather do anything. Very rarely do you hear a football manager come out and say, yeah, the player I signed, he's not doing it. You know, they back him to the hilt.
Yeah. So, and the interesting thing is, Eddie Nweri is not catching fire at Crystal Palace.
Eddie Nweri, who's that?
Oh, Eddie Nketiah.
Ethan's brother. We don't care. He's not catching fire. Listen, Eddie could be in a decent team. Eddie could be a deadly striker. He never really got the rub of the green at Arsenal. He was only ever good enough, and we've discussed this on here many times. He was only ever good enough when Jesus was injured. He scored a bucket load of goals. Jesus came back. Eddie found himself on the bench. I don't blame him for moving, but at Crystal Palace, I don't think it's a fit for him because they don't play the football that thrives to his strengths. Yeah. You know, I mean, Apollo just put it there. Jesus now 1 goal and no assists in his last 29 games. That record right there is. Listen, we know strikers go through barren runs, but that is, you know, that's just not good enough.
That's outrageous.
Any level.
You can't accept that as a striker. I mean, you know, I question how he even gets in our team. You've got to, you know, if Kai Havertz isn't ready to play, to me, you just put Gabriel Martinelli there straight off.
Yeah,
you have to play someone else.
Apollo, I totally agree with you. Apollo says Eddie scored 14 goals in his last 27 starts for Arsenal. Yeah, but that record, Apollo, is good, you know, and he done a job. He never let us down, but he always found himself back on the bench. For what reason? For what reason would you bench a player that's scoring goals to bring in someone that isn't? I don't understand it. And I don't blame Eddie for leaving to go and play. But I just think Palace, they're not a team that's going to play to his strengths, right?
Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to...
we didn't do Arteta.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do Arteta in the ratings. So you gave him an 8.5.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I gave him an 8.5. I thought essentially, you know, I know Apollo was absolutely having kittens at the start of the game about the choice of players. But it's worked out, Apollo. I know you're listening because you're in the car texting. But on this occasion, Arteta has been absolutely bang on. You know, okay, he had to make a change at half-time for Jorginho. But you know what? That gave Jorginho some valuable minutes because I think he's going to need those minutes down the stretch. And gave Thomas, you know, the opportunity to come on against a tiring midfield and do what Thomas does. So I'm not angry at that at all. You know, the fact that he's given Ethan a nice 10, 15 minutes with extra time to get his legs into the game. And obviously, Ethan done what Ethan does. I couldn't have been more happier. This today has been a glowing success for Arteta. He must be so happy with what he's seen across the pitch. You know, he gave Zinchenko minutes. You know, we ain't seen that guy all season. And he's a guy that just needed some minutes. He just needed some minutes. And this was the perfect opportunity to give him the minutes. So well done, Mikel Arteta. Your thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, I say I was in the same boat with Apollo when we saw the team sheet. Apollo actually phoned me from the stadium, and we was both beside ourselves. I'm not going to lie, but I was expecting a little bit more from Forest. But I thought our performance was that good. We didn't allow them to dictate any part of the game, and you know. We went in 1-0 up, should have been more. I think he made the brilliant call at half-time to remove Jorginho, who was on the yellow card, and bring Thomas back in. And that worked out because Thomas then put us 2-0 up. And then, you know, Odegaard was tiring. Saka, he's obviously had his injury problems. They both got decent rest when the game was sort of beyond Forest's reach. And then Nweri, his other substitute, pops up with the third. So I think Arteta got although it looked a bit dodgy from the start, I think he got everything right today. It proved to be right and fully deserves an 8.5.
Cool. So, guys, that's it from us for today. I'm, as I said, very happy. The two players there that I've brought up on screen, to me, you know, it's so good to see these two doing what they do, doing it so well. And with other players still to come, you know, when we bring back Havertz into this equation, Martinelli back into the equation, you know, players are coming back, getting their fitness back. Shame about Ben White, but overall, I believe that this team, with what we've explained about us, you know, having a very tough time going and playing in all those difficult away fixtures at the start of the season, and now having a string of games where the furthest game we play is Crystal Palace in the next 6 games, you know, the next 11 games, the furthest team we play is Crystal Palace. So, you know, look, I'm looking forward to a nice string of results. Hopefully we go on and put the pressure on those teams above us. All right, let's talk about this. So let's look at Liverpool's fixtures. Southampton away tomorrow. Southampton, not an easy place to go. But guess what happens next? You're at home to Man City. Then what happens? You go away to Newcastle, away to Everton, home to Fulham, should be an easy one, away to Tottenham. Guess who's done all them fixtures? We have. Yeah?
Yep. You know, and don't forget, we were seconds from beating City. Seconds from beating City at their place.
And you look at our fixtures in comparison. Home to Man United. Away to Fulham. Home to Everton. Away to Palace. As I said, we ain't going anywhere. Our biggest trip is... What is it? Our biggest trip is Crystal Palace. South of the river. That's our biggest trip.
Yeah.
We ain't going nowhere. We've got creature comforts up until December 21st. So, sorry, D. If you think the season is over already and the league is done, wait, wobble your head, mate. Wobble your head.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Apollo. The Jesus, the process has gone and he needs to be shipped out. I don't even know how he gets in the starting lineup. Obviously, today was a case of maybe Havertz had a knock from international duty. Martinelli's probably done all the travelling with Brazil. Maybe he wasn't fully ready to go. But I still would like to see us bring in a proper striker in January. I think you got to get rid of Jesus, and I don't think there's much place for Zinchenko at all in this team either. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. So, guys, that ends our stream for today. A fantastic win at the Emirates today for Arsenal, winning 3-0 against a very strong Nottingham Forest team. Goals from Saka, Partey, and Ethan.
Eddie?
And
is he back?
And yeah, I'm pleased with that. Long may it continue. We look forward to seeing you guys again very soon.
No
one
worries.
last comment. Yeah, he's got a game. He's got to go. Shame Odo and Saka doesn't have Gyökeres up top. I mean, yeah, it would be wonderful. Look, we just got to get to the new year, and hopefully, the board will do some magic in that transfer window. Bring someone in that will make a difference. This team has got the ability to do something special this season. So yeah,
and it is Sporting up next. D, you're correct. Where we will face Mr. Victor Gyökeres and see how he gets on against Saliba and Gabriel and co.
It's interesting. Was it Troy Deeney? It was interesting this week. Was it Troy Deeney who said that he thought that Kai Havertz was a better player for Arsenal than Gyökeres?
Well, I don't know. And listen, there's no given right for any player to come into a team and do what he's done at a previous team, right?
Exactly.
So if he does well against Saliba and Gabriel, you give him half a chance, you know. And then if you sign him, you just have to see how he gets on. The Premier League's a different beast. It's not the same as playing in Portugal.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
In the Nations League, you look at him scoring 4 goals against who? You know, for Sweden. So it's not a given that you're going to come into the Premier League and score bundles of goals. Right? Yeah, Haaland's done it, but Haaland plays in a Man City team where, you know, Jesus scored 90 odd goals. So that tells you all you need to know. So I like to see us bring. I mean, I'm a fan of that Cunha from Wolves. I think he can be a really good player and score goals. So we'll see what happens come January. But let's get the Christmas out of the way first. Let's remain strong. Let's remain winning, and take it from there.
Great stuff. So, guys, that's it from us. Have a great weekend. That started my weekend wonderful. But anyway, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you again.
See you later, everyone. Enjoy your showtime.
Take care, buddy.
See you, mate.